Let's see what we got here. Bonnie.
Okay, I tried 4 times,
I know you did.
4 times to get on. I have no idea what happened. Ecamm just kept buffering. I tried everything. Ecamm's very simple. I'm a beta tester for Ecamm. I know how to use Ecamm. I've had them since I started. No idea. Anyway, so sorry, the video or the audio is not going to be as good
No, it'll
because
be fine and we'll make
I'm
it
on my
work.
phone.
And really what I wanted, so I'm going to kind of just do a re-entry here. So hold on a second. So that way I can go back when I export this and just cut the audio. So, all right, everybody. Super excited today. We have Bonnie L. Frank from Business Fabulous on today to talk about the hottest, the most talked about, probably the most opinionated app right now, Clubhouse. So Clubhouse is a new app that's coming out. Bonnie is a pioneer. She's the one that got me on. She's like, hey, you need to check this out. I'm supposed to be the one that keeps up with all this stuff, but I got to be honest. My go-to person is always Bonnie because she is literally at the forefront all the time. So she kind of helps pull me up. I'm like the little puppy behind, and she's pulling me with the chain here. And she's like, "Hey, do this, get on this." So I'm gonna let Bonnie kind of take it over and tell everybody a little bit about Clubhouse, the platform itself, and how it can be beneficial to your business, your organization, or just your personal branding. So take it take it away.
All right. So, hi everyone. Okay, so I'm Bonnie Frank, and I'm a business coach and consultant. Tom, you might have to turn down something in the background because it's echoing. Um, and so I started on Clubhouse about I think 34 days ago, but in 5 days I was able to monetize the app. And I was able to do so. I already put a link down in the comments. If you go to my website and you click on Clubhouse, you'll get a little document, and it not only talks about the mission of Clubhouse, but it will give you a ton of ways to maximize your time on there. And so, for those of you who are not on yet, it is iOS only, but it's not just iOS only. I have an iPad here that I can't use for Clubhouse because it's not 13.0 or later. So you have to be iOS 13.0 or later. So that's only Apple, iPhone or iPad. Then you also have to have an invite. And so that's creating some of the FOMO. It's also creating some of the anger why people can't get on. But they're doing that for stability for the app because the app is still in beta. The app just started in March, so it hasn't even been a year. It's still in beta. There's over 1 million people on it, and they're letting more and more people on every few days, and they're continuing to add more features every week, but they want to maintain the stability of the app. So, Tom and I met through live streaming, through speaking at marketing conferences. And one thing that you do not want when you have any sort of app, any sort of anything in beta, you don't want it to be unstable. You don't want the sound to be bad, because for sure you don't want the video to be bad here. So, but Clubhouse is an audio only app. There's no video, it's only sound. So you really, really have to have great sound. And that's one of the reasons why it's 13.0 or later. So that hopefully that explains why anyone can't just download the app. Android is coming. Supposedly it's coming in 2 weeks. We'll see. I don't know. More people in the world have Android than have iPhone. It's always been that way. But iOS is an easier development. It's one development, where Android is many, because there's a whole bunch of different kinds of Android phones. So that's why they're doing that. Now, when I tell people that I'm on an audio only app and I've monetized it in 5 days and I'm meeting people from all over the world and I'm making great relationships and people are hiring me and I'm speaking on other people's quote unquote stages in their quote unquote rooms, because we're all doing it from our own homes, from our own rooms all over the world, it doesn't sound very workable. It doesn't sound very doable. It doesn't sound like maybe I'm making the best use of my time, but I am here to tell you, just like a podcast, when all you have to go on is somebody's sound, the sound of their voice. Voice is powerful. Voice is really, really powerful. And excuse me for my raspy one right now. I've been talking hours a day for about 34 days now. Um, Voice is super, super powerful. And you can tell if somebody's the real deal when you just listen to their voice. And you can tell if the person's the real deal if you ask them a question, if you ask them for advice, if you ask them for their opinion or to give some input. And if they cannot easily do it right then and there in real time, it's pretty obvious if they know what they know.
You know, the voice is very important. And I've always, I think most of us say we don't like our voice, but it's hard because voices are brandable too. And there's just something like they've either got it or they don't. Do you think people can train their voice to be better on this platform?
People can train their voice to be better and to be different however they want. If you look at Bradley Cooper in A Star is Born, that singing voice, he literally trained for a year to learn to sing like that. He can sing great, but that is not, his voice is not that deep. And he did it so that his voice would sound deeper, like the guy who was playing his brother. So he went with a voice coach and he trained his voice to do that. So you can train your voice to do a whole bunch of things. So absolutely you can. But there's no reason to even do that. Whatever your voice is, people are either going to resonate with you and who you are and what you're about and your vibe, or they're not. And if they don't, that's okay. Those are not your people. It's totally, totally okay. So Clubhouse is the most welcoming platform. The mission of Clubhouse, which you'll see in that document down there that I put in the comments, the mission of Clubhouse is what sets it apart. Yes, it is a social media app. Yep, it has an algorithm, just like all social media, platforms do. But the mission of Clubhouse is, and this is basically paraphrasing from the two developers, the mission of Clubhouse is to get people together from diverse backgrounds and perspectives so they can have deep, meaningful conversations. That is why Clubhouse. That's what sets Clubhouse apart from every other social media platform out there. And that's why people are thriving on Clubhouse. And it's also why a lot of digital marketers are not thriving on Clubhouse. Because if you just go on there like a shark, I'm going to sell. Here's a brand new audience. I'm going to sell. This is the biggest, hottest thing in town. I'm going to sell. You're going to fail miserably. That's not what Clubhouse is about. So I go on a couple times a day. I have every day since I've been on, and I help people. I give them advice on whatever it is, on social media, on marketing, on Clubhouse, on their bio, on creating a product that will sell, on an elevator pitch, whatever it is. I talk about a lot of different things. I'm a business coach, so I talk about things in the digital sphere, things in my wheelhouse. That's what I talk about twice a day. That's it. And people hire me. But it's because of the relationships that I've created through doing that. Because you can really, really get to know people on any social media platform, or you could just post.
So, is it something that you need to be? Obviously, we talk about consistency in what we do in digital marketing. The consistency. Have you found specific times that work really well to get on and interact with people? Because it is a worldwide app.
Right. It's a global app. So people are literally on 24/7. And there are loads and loads of rooms 24/7. And what you see in what's called your hallway, and all of this is explained in the document that I put in the comments. What you see in your hallway, the AI, the artificial intelligence of the app, curates your hallway for you based on what you train it, you want to see. So if by going into a ton of rooms that are all follow for follow, And now they've actually banned that on the app because
Good.
it tanks your algorithm and it ruins, it's the antithesis of what the app is about. But if that's what you did when you first went on the app, your hallway is going to be filled with very spammy rooms of very spammy people. And you're probably like, what are people talking about with Clubhouse? This is all I see. This is all that's here. It's not all that's there, because you have three different ways to see things, see, quote unquote, three different ways to see what's available on Clubhouse. The default is the curation from the AI, but you can also go up to the schedule and put all rooms. And then you literally see all the rooms that are available. Think of like a movie theater. When you walk into a movie theater, you can go into this movie or that movie. I mean, you have a ticket for one movie, but let's face it, people do, go in and out, right? So that's kind of what Clubhouse is, where there's a whole bunch of different possibilities of of rooms that you could go into. You could pop into those rooms and you could learn about um, you could pop into the rooms and you could learn from people who literally are in the cast of The Lion King on Broadway, and they could be talking about a certain experience, or they might even be reading the real lines from, or singing from the Broadway show. I've done that before. I went into a room where people were auditioning, like really singing, playing, auditioning for different places that would hire them. Different recording artists were going in and auditioning. There's a Shark Tank who's on the app. Damon Johns is on the app, and so he'll take pitches from people. Grant Cardone's on the app. He's been helping people build their businesses. And then there's just loads and loads, over 1 million other people who are on the app talking about whatever it is that they're talking about. It may or may not have anything to do with business. It may or may not have anything to do with digital marketing. You could literally learn anything you want to and have a conversation about anything you want to on that app. I went on, yes, to have deep, meaningful conversations with people from all over the world who have different backgrounds and different perspectives, because that's what I'm into anyway. So it was not hard for me to adopt that mission. So, yes, that's why I went on there. However, I also went on there with a plan. I knew I was going to monetize it quickly. It's not whether or not I was going to monetize it. I knew I was going to, because I had things in place. I already had a funnel. I had valuable information to give the people who came into my rooms, additional valuable information. While I was giving them valuable information, I'm like, hey, if you want to get some more, grab this PDF. Now they're on my list. They download the PDF. They're on my list. I can continue to nurture that relationship, and I can continue to provide even more value. Maybe at some point they buy from me, or maybe they don't, but I'm increasing those relationships. I continue to provide value for them all along the way.
And the other thing that you're doing is you're planting seeds. You're right. Not only are they not necessarily going to purchase from you or work with you, but they have a whole network too that if you stay relevant and in front, they're also going to say, hey, there's this person that just came to mind, Business Fabulous. You need to check this lady out and see if she can help you. And they could probably send the PDF and, share your resources. And I think that's what people forget sometimes, is that they focus so much on the selling that they just don't plant the seeds. And if you're a farmer, and I always think of the story when I grew up about Johnny Appleseed going across America planting apple trees, and then when he looked back, it was like all these trees were everywhere. That's really what we really try to do, and that's what most business people or business development people try to do, entrepreneurs, is plant those seeds without any expectation, none, and just put it out there. And honestly, that's kind of one of the rules of selling. They tell you have to do so many cold calls a day, and it's not that nobody likes that, but it's the rule of numbers. So if you're out there doing something you love, are passionate about, planting seeds, which is way better than cold calling, you know that that's going to come back. But you also added something very important that even I struggle with and I have to do, and that is you have to have a funnel. If you have to have a funnel, and that's one of the things that I'm continually trying to work at.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost any money. And people who create funnels for a living like to really love to make funnels sound difficult. and they like to make it sound high tech because it keeps them employed and pays their bills. But a funnel is exactly what I did here, Tom, in the comments. That's a funnel. So here I am, I'm providing information about Clubhouse, I'm talking about Clubhouse, and then I'm like, hey, if you want to learn more, if you want to learn more about the app, if you want to learn how to maximize your time, in fact, so much so that the exact 10 things I did to maximize my time on the app and also monetize the app in 5 days, those exact steps are in that PDF that I put in the comments. You go to bonnielfrank.com and click on Clubhouse. You can download that PDF, and people who have been on Clubhouse for a lot longer than me are downloading that PDF, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is really helpful. I didn't know this stuff." And so it's providing value. Now you're on my list. I'm going to continue to provide value once or twice a week. And then we continue the relationship. And you either buy from me or you don't, but that's not the point. But at the very same time that I've been doing this, I not only have increased my revenue quite a bit since day 5 of being on Clubhouse, but I have grown my list by hundreds for free, for just talking about the same exact things I talk about every single day and have for all these years. The exact same things I do every single day. Now I'm just doing it in a little bit different space where it's audio only. And guess what? You can be in your pajamas. I mean, it's incredible. And especially now with COVID and everybody's like all zoomed out, we're all suffering from Zoom fatigue. People are like, "Ah, thank you. Thank you that I don't have to be on video." It came, Clubhouse could not have launched at a better time.
So is it safe to say that what Clubhouse has done is it's made podcasting social? It's made now that the
Mhm.
podcast, it's now interactive. Is that kind of a safe way to say that?
Well, it's interesting because there are podcasters on there, and podcasters, they're like, is Clubhouse replacing podcasting? Nope. No, it's not. Podcasting is a very, very intimate thing because you literally are walking around with somebody in your head. I mean, they could not get any closer, right? Unless they were physically right in front of you. So you're walking around with somebody in your head. It's a very intimate experience listening to a podcast. I was listening to podcasts for over 6 years before I even started a podcast. So it's a very intimate experience. And people will, if you listen to a podcast, you are much more likely to buy whatever it is that that podcast host is talking about. Doesn't matter what it is. You're much more likely to buy it than if they had what we call a baked in ad. So an ad that was already produced somewhere else and they just put it into the podcast feed. Those don't work as well, because what are we talking about this whole time? Know, like, and trust. We're talking about somebody's personal brand. We're talking about relating to people, resonating with their voice, resonating with their vibe, resonating with what they're about, the type of person are. Everybody who thinks of Tom thinks of helping the vets, right? Helping veterans. So people know that. They know he wears funny hats. They know he wears questionable suits. We're not really sure about his taste in clothing, but they know these things about Tom, right? So that's his brand. His personal brand is very clear. It is very clear you're going to get the real deal with him. It is very clear you're getting somebody who just operates from the heart every single day. He's going to be like that any day. It doesn't matter. Exactly the same. So, and you know that. And because of that, that vibe, that branding, doesn't matter what words Tom uses to describe it. It matters what words everyone else uses, because those are the people who are going to be the raving fans and his free advertising and his free PR machine all the time. And that's exactly what Clubhouse is, and exactly what Clubhouse has done for many people. And it all goes back to the mission of the app itself.
So run out of time. I've got to get on to my next online meeting here, but I can't thank you enough. Thank you for your patience. And thank you for coming in. And hopefully down the road, maybe in a month or two, you'll learn some new things. Maybe we can have an update on Clubhouse, and we can make this even better than this time that I kind of botched this up. So, but it turned out great.
It's fine. It's all fine. You know what? This is live stream. We know it's live video. People know to expect this. And you've got a tribe of very, very loyal followers. And if they didn't get it now, they'll tune in later, because who is going to miss Harness Your Hump Day? Who's going to miss that? I don't know anyone.
Well, I don't know. Maybe, a couple thousand people. No. So yes. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And may you continue to be blessed with all that you do. And thank you for your friendship and your mentorship too.
Thank you. Tom, it's been seriously such a pleasure. I have, your people will like to hear this. I have a picture of Tom and Kevin and I, and Tom and Kevin have ridiculous suits on, as you can well imagine. And there's me in the middle. And I have it on one of my dating app bios. And people, because it's one of the few full-length pictures I have of me. So I'm like, well, I'll just put that. That's great. And they're like, who are your friends in the picture?
Is there any confusion on whether or not which one they're trying to date? I mean,
that would be really a problem, wouldn't it, for me? I don't know. I don't know. So far, it's worked out okay, so it's all right.
That is awesome. Well, you have a wonderful day, Bonnie.
Thanks, Tom. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for your patience. And as always, if our business at Harness Digital Marketing, our team can be of benefit to your business or organization, just remember that we are here to hashtag turn the light bulb on for your business or organization. Man, I said business and organization quite a few times in there. I better work on that pitch at the very, very end. So have a wonderful day, everybody, and be the reason someone smiles.